there's nothing worse than a short that's too long. You
Hmm.
want to make the short, you know, I don't know, as close to 10 minutes and under as you can. And sometimes it can be 3 or 4 minutes. They're like popcorn, right? And they're meant to be consumed, and you get the idea, and you can tell
Sure.
this person knows how to direct talent and knows how to move a camera, right? And tell a story in this super compartmentalized way.
Hey everyone, we have an amazing guest today. We have Mike Gabrawy phoning in from Los Angeles, a very dear friend of mine and a person that we work closely with here at Kinolime, joining us live from LA to talk all things short films, from the creative to the production side to potential financing. Mike G, man, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Thank you, John. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, look at you. You just always, you have like a glow to you constantly of just pure joy and happiness.
So sweet. And I love the Bruce Springsteen, the 1985 Bruce Springsteen
Do.
jacket. That is fantastic.
So this jacket was given to me by a very talented film director named Hala, and she directed, I don't know if you know this, Mike, but I was the lead actor in a poolside music video that has over 1 million views on YouTube.
Of course you are.
And this jacket was what my character wore, and she sent it to me after we shot in France, Paris, which is really cool. Freak luck incident how that even happened, but go check it out. It's a poolside. Can't stop your lovin'.
Can't stop your loving. I
It's
would
great.
cite I would cite that jacket being the reason it went viral, but that's
That's
just
it.
me.
Okay. Well, speaking of virality, and the market has changed a lot, right? Like short films. I know, Mike, we always talk about this offline, your love of short films, and how, we had the golden age of short films. It used to be a calling card for filmmakers to make a short. Then it kind of died out a little bit, but now they're making a little bit of resurgence. Maybe I'd love to hear your opinions on shorts and your love of them, and, everything going on in today's world with short films.
I mean, I think they're making a resurgence because there's no barrier for entry now. I mean, I think they're a fantastic way to find your voice. I mean, invariably, short films take longer than features to make because there's no point of diminishing returns. You want to make them the absolute best that they can be. I find short films to be a fantastic, calling card, like the way they used to be when I first started in the business after film school. And I've had so much success in identifying talent in that way. The director of Anthony Maris, who directed Hotel Mumbai for me, I saw somebody had encouraged me to watch his short film, which was called The Palace. And I saw that short film, and I'm like, well, there's no one else that I want to direct Hotel Mumbai because there were so many parallels. The Palace was about the Greek Cypriot War in the 70s, and it was harrowing, like, almost felt like a documentary. And that's what he translated to in the feature of Hotel Mumbai. So I think they're a great way to show your voice, to show the approach you have to filmmaking. And the best ones end up being calling cards and launching careers.
We couldn't agree more, and this is the exact reason why we're in our first ever Kinolime feature short competition that's going on right now. We've had like well over 1,000 submissions of short films that knee deep reading and going through, and like we here at Kinolime just love short films. Maybe, Mike, you can help educate the people watching at home about where do you start? Okay, you want to make a short, so you need the idea, but which is obviously the first step. But when you're thinking about the idea, can you maybe give us some guidelines or some tips of how do you frame that idea to make it achievable?
It's a really good question. I think I think people confuse it I think the shorts that for me don't work are the ones that are meant to be that are meant to be like kind of open-ended or to launch to something. They're like a very different animal than a feature film. They're popcorn, right? Like they are meant to be consumed. There are amazing shorts out there. I would encourage everybody to watch Nash Edgerton's short films, right? This is Joel Edgerton's brother. He's done a couple of shorts, Spider, Bear, another one called Bear. They're fantastic.
Mhm.
And they should live as their own entity rather than being, hey, I'm going to get a setup. You don't know how it goes?
Yeah.
Help me make the feature. They have to kind of in my mind, stand on their own. A couple of kind of practical standpoints, there's nothing worse than a short that's too long. You want to make the short, I don't know, as close to 10 minutes and under as you can. And sometimes they can be 3 or 4 minutes. They're like popcorn, right? And they're meant to be consumed, and you get the idea, and you can tell
Sure.
this person knows how to direct talent and knows how to move a camera, right? And tell a story in this super compartmentalized way. You can see fantastic examples of this in commercial work too, where like especially kind of in earlier days of commercials in the 90s and 80s, there were like little short films unto themselves, and they told a story in a contained amount of time.
So that's a really interesting point. So you're recommending that, because we see this a lot with, we call them like proof of concepts, right? It's someone filming a piece of a larger story that keeps it open-ended, and then you're like, hey, did I entice you enough to buy this concept from me? You recommend keeping it more in a story format where it's like a beginning, middle, and end, right? More of a complete story arc, so to speak.
Okay.
I think so, because otherwise it's a proof of concept, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what you're making is a something to sell something else. You want to have this stand alone. I was part of an incubator program called Search Lab at Fox Searchlight back in I want to say in the kind of early 2000s at some point. And I made this short film called Peacock with Michael Lander that was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And it was a fantastic short film. And this was it was a short version of his screenplay. His screenplay went on to be on the blacklist. It got made by Lionsgate years later, but it was, he had, I don't know.
Oh, it's interesting. Yeah.
A dozen, as a first-time director, first-time feature director, he had a dozen Oscar winners in front of him behind the camera. It was kind of an amazing thing. The short film stood on its own as a story, and it was fantastic. And I think that project was such a difficult subject matter that short that stood on its own was part of, like, when the screenplay got the attention from the blacklist. It helped it get made. And Barry Mendel produced it. I think he produced Munich, like an amazing producer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then it had it was just an amazing cast. You can look it up. It's called Peacock.
So now you have the screenplay, you've got your creative. Now let's talk about the crewing up. Obviously in LA there are tons of people that work in the business, so it's a little bit easier to get your hands on those that are capable. But maybe, Mike, some input, some advice for those that have the screenplay and now want to maybe execute that on a physical production side.
Okay, so I would say that every city, I think every medium to large city in America has an independent film community. I think LA is probably one of the more challenging places for that because it's so mired in the actual industry, business side of the industry. So it's hard to find those folks that are more indie minded. But what I find is you want to find people, like when you're looking for crew, you want to find people that are moving up. You want to find an art director that wants to be a production designer. You want to find a second AD that wants to become a first AD or a line producer. And you find those people that are on their way up and they have a ton of experience in their world and what they can bring to your short because they want the experience to a first AD or a production manager. I want to produce. That's my end goal. I want to come in and help you. So you want to find people on that trajectory, and you're just building your team, right? Like, there are fantastic examples of the kind of mumblecore movement in Austin back in the day, where these guys all crewed up on each other's movies to get it made.
Sure.
The Blue Tongue group is exactly what I'm talking about. It's Joel Edgerton, Nash Edgerton. I'm forgetting the director that did Animal Kingdom. I'm spacing, and Tracks. But this collective of directors that help each other. So you want to find your team that you're going to be able to execute this with. And it's just, I find in the short films that I've done, you've never seen people be more generous with their time, with their resources than when they see people when they see you trying to make your short film and your films.
Sure.
It is, it's a really big part of the process. And by the way, I talk to recent film grads all the time. There's no barrier for entry now. I talk about Sean Baker making his first feature. There were 4 films submitted to Sundance that year that were shot on an iPhone, right? I have an anamorphic lens for my iPhone from Moment. Like, 4 films are submitted. His got in. It sold for $1 million. His next film got nominated for an Oscar, which I think is a Florida project. And now, he's had a number of, got a number
Sure.
of accolades on Anora. So like there's a trajectory that you can look at in a compressed amount of time. His first film was kind of done on an iPhone, and it was
Yeah.
compelling. Tangerine. It was incredibly compelling and personal and heartbreaking and all that. So that's an inspiration for me that anybody can make a film that is even a feature or a short film for a fraction of what it cost when I started in the business and you were shooting film and had to get big cameras and
Sure.
labs and things like that.
So you got the screenplay, the creative down, you got the crew. Now, and this probably should have been first, but we'll go last, is on the financing side. Do you have any insights and tips about grants or avenues to go down if you're trying to make your first feature? Obviously, using your own funds is one way, but do you have any experience in that field that you could partake?
I don't have specifics on that because it really is something that's all friends and family support. That's how I think it comes. I think what you're going to do is you're going to find people on the post-production side and crew and that can help give you in-kind services. But traditional financing for short films, it's out there, I'm sure. I don't know what they are. There are these incubator programs, but like that's the way Search Lab was back in the day. It was meant to incubate directors for Searchlight eventually. But that's just doing a deep dive on the resources. I think there are places like Independent Feature Project East, I think, and then what is now called Film Independent in LA, that used to be IFP West.
Yeah, Film Independent's great.
They have a Midwestern office. They have East Coast, West Coast. Like they have tons of resources on grants and resources for independent filmmakers. I would go mine those indie-friendly organizations, and then I would look at the film schools that are like AFI, NYU, USC. The ones that are the prominent ones, and see how those, what resources are available to those young filmmakers to do what they're doing. And that's just a lot of legwork.
Mike Gabrawy, always a pleasure. Learn so much every time we talk. Thank you so much for giving us the time today. Really appreciate it.
It's always good luck, and I can't wait to see these amazing shorts.
That's right.
And everyone at home, thank you so much for joining. If you like us, subscribe, comment, do everything you need to do on the bottom to have more of these great videos coming your way, and we appreciate it. And don't forget, our Kinolime short film competition is coming to a close next week in terms of submissions, so get them in now so we can read them and get them on to the next round. Thank you so much.